Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very late edition of Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch and wherever you get your podcasts worldwide. I'm even joined by the man, the myth, the legend, J Bone in the house. I literally just walked in the door moments ago from a car ride, 6 hours from Niagara Falls, from the border brawl. But obviously, on my way
Oh,
back, I found out some big news, J Bone. Breaking news that I said, it can't wait. Emergency podcast has to go out to the people because history was made tonight or last night at this point, shall we say.
it
And J
was.
Bone, you called it. You were ahead of the curve. I know a lot of people in our chat called it. I was saying I was I was believing in Joe Hendry. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen later, but I'll tell you what. From Thursday night, from me going up to Canada and seeing what happened at Under Siege, which we haven't got your opinion on that yet, but
Hmm.
seeing what happened at Under Siege and how they never interacted, like they were in the tag match and they kept them apart for that whole match. And I kind of thought that right before it started. I'm like, they're going to not even really interact during this match. And that's
Yeah.
pretty much what happened. My mind started being swayed a little bit that maybe something was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then when obviously Mike Santana was heading down to this show, I think a lot of this became more and more of a real possibility of happening. And obviously, there was a dusty finish, I would say, because the belt got involved. The referee was kind of moving it around, some distractions. And then obviously, Joe winds up hitting it inadvertently in the end. To then be pinned. So still, you can't argue it. A huge win. Trick Williams makes history, wins the NXT title. Was the TNA title on Battleground with the NXT WWE brand. J-Bone, initial thoughts. I think our minds are blown here on the TNI show.
Um. Yeah. I jokingly because someone piped up at work and said, "Oh my God, he's looking at his phone." And I could see the picture on his phone from like looking next to him, and it's this picture or
This
something
guy.
darn near close to
This
this,
guy.
holding the title. Yeah, it's Trick. And I said, you know what? Sucks being right sometimes. And I'm not bragging because and I told my other crew, my Ramblers, on Tuesday. I said, look, I still believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is great. I am a fan, so please don't get it twisted like, oh, he hates Joe Hendry. No, I don't. I really don't. I said, but when I'm looking at the big picture of what's going on, and there's so much change going on, with people going from this company to this company, contracts are coming up, um, just all these changes in TNA and the relationship that they have with the WWE/NXT. And I'm looking at how they've been booking this guy, Trick Williams. I'm like, this is a guy they are going to push to the moon in the future. And I think even more, honestly, more so than Carmelo Hayes. And that's not a knock on him. It's just they see something different in Trick than they see in Carmelo Hayes. Because Carmelo Hayes has pretty good following, pretty good audience,
He does,
but
but he
not
is
like
not
Trick.
whooping that trick. But
Trick,
before we
yeah.
whoop that trick, J Bone, because we got a legend in the chat, and I got to answer his question because
Oh,
David Penzer's in the chat, the great ring announcer extraordinaire. Before we start, can we please get an update on Bill's Canada Hotel? Well, yes, you can, and for David, I don't know if you ever did it at Windsor, but um, Windsor has what they call the Residence and Conference Center, and like it's part of the college campus. So it's
Oh,
like student housing, but they also use it as hotel, like as like you can book rooms. And I did that my first time in Windsor, but then in later Windsor trips, it was never available because it was during season. Um, but there's one of these that was only a few minutes down the road from Brampton, where Under Siege and the uh, tapings were. And so it's technically at Sheridan College. But I stayed there. So I had a pretty much like a dorm room, like a two separate small bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom. But it worked out perfectly. It was the same exact setup, like the same design. It was like I went back in time.
yeah.
Yes, every one of these is kind of a cookie cutter. So yes, that is where I stayed. So an interesting spot for sure. But thank you.
So you were at the forgive me, what did they call it again? What event was it called?
Today,
Yeah.
well, it's on my shirt, J-Bo.
Oh, nice.
The
The
border
border
brawl.
brawl. That's slick. I like that. Wow. Canada versus USA, Niagara Falls. The tariffs. What does that say at the bottom? The tariffs are on and the gloves are off. That is great. I love that.
And it was free on Zonify. You can go back, watch it on I think it's on YouTube, it's on the socials.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can go by and check it out later for sure.
Nice. Nice. Well,
And
I
we could
got the next
definitely,
next
we'll
2 days
recap
off, so
that
I'll do some
on
catching up.
Thursday, and we even talked about we might do something before then. We were talking about maybe even the old family barbecue, maybe tomorrow night, but we'll see.
It's not a bad idea because I got some catching up to do, and I haven't even watched all of Under Siege. So, yeah, I've worked the
You got
last
some
3 days
catching
in a
up to
row,
do.
so I've missed out on a lot. I mean, I've caught bits and pieces. Of course, I know like who beat who and whatever, but as far as how you got from point A to point B, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, because pretty much all I've done the last couple days, J Bone, is drive, go to TNA, and sleep. Not
yeah,
much time for anything else. It's been a tight schedule. And now podcast. Oh, yeah, and also podcast because I did the
you're
Under
right.
Siege review on Friday night. So, yes. So I still have not slept. Sleeping will come after this.
All right, and my boys, the Ramblers, they did a show after Saturday night's main event, and I only had to work till 8. So I mean, I could have went live with them, but I missed over half the show, and I was too tired. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why when I said it, I put it out to you, the UK guys, because I know they're starting to stir early in the morning over there. But I was like, hey, we're just talking about the news. We don't got to go crazy about the show. We kind of
No, and
know
that's fine.
we're just touching on history being made. Like I
It
think we
really
all
is.
see it with now, and we can get into it real quick because I think I know, and I saw Terrence here, like, and I know that's going to be a contingent. I didn't go through our Discord really yet. I'm sure it's going to be a hot take.
Oh yeah,
Where like horrendous decision by TNA management. LOL, TNA rides again. These people can't stand prosperity. So like, I think you're going to hear some of that, but. And my initial thing, because like I said, I wasn't thinking that was going to happen. Obviously, we all been burned by the Kenny Omega thing with AEW. I
yeah,
think that's still sitting poorly with myself included. On like we all gave it and said, "Hey, we like this, go for it,"
yeah,
but then it ended horribly, and I
yeah.
think
Like the
everyone's worried
beginning,
about that happening again.
the beginning was hot. The beginning was
Yes,
fun because
it
Don
was the right
Callis.
move. They just they they had to have him drop the belt to a TNA talent on TNA TV
Yeah,
or a TNA pay-per-view PLE,
and they
which they
couldn't.
did not. And that
Yeah,
was what made that horrible. I don't
yeah,
think this because obviously this is a long-term relationship with
right.
WWE. I think most people now once again, if I'm WWE, Do I want Trick to only have the title so shortly to lose it at Slammiversary to Mike Santana? I don't know. That was my whole thing, why I didn't think it was going to happen. But I was thinking a 3-way where Joe Hendry loses, like, but then in that one, probably Trick would have taken the pin, which obviously could still happen if it is that matchup
Right.
at Slammiversary. So, but I know that's what everyone's going to think. And you got to remember, I know face versus face can happen. TNA's done it, but you don't book a professional NHL arena and have that. Like, that wasn't going to be the matchup. It wasn't going to be Joe Hendry versus face Mike Santana. It just wasn't. Either Joe Hendry was going to face somebody else for the title and Mike Santana was going to do another thing. But if Mike Santana was going to win in New York, he would have to go against a heel. But see, that's the other thing. Based on crowd reaction, and Mike Santana's going to get it. He gets great crowd reactions. But even though they're trying to turn Trick, he's still a tweener and he's super over.
Right.
The whoop that Trick chant is going to be huge if he's coming in as a champion at Slammiversary, which he definitely will be.
Yeah. And I want to bring up a point, and I don't know who noticed this, but I'm about 3+ matches into watching Battleground. So I quick ate when I got off of work at 11, ate, and I saw you were talking about, going live at some point, and I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. I'll quick make a cover for you. I wasn't planning on doing this because I didn't know how long I was going to stay awake, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I assumed you'd be sleeping. Then I saw you chatting with the UK guys. And I'm like, hey, anyone awake? If they want to join, I'm going live in 5.
Yeah. So I'm like, screw it. Why not? And then, but right before this one of these matches that just went on now, or it was like, was it right after the first? They had Mike Santana backstage in Tampa. And when they introduced him and took the camera from 2 people to just Mike, you could hear the people in the arena went,
oh, they all know. They all know.
He got a pop, and I was like, oh, they know. Okay, all right, cool. And so he's gonna be booked this Tuesday, 48 hours from now, on Tuesday, versus, now you'll have to forgive me, I'm not familiar with the guy's name. He's from shit. Who's William Regal's kid? Charlie
Dempsey.
Who we
saw on TNA.
It's that crew. It's someone from that crew. I can't think of the guy's name. So, but yeah, and it looks like it's like a kind of a mutual respect thing. Like, hey, let's do this, and whereas Charlie Dempsey was like, oh, look, another TNA guy. It's like, shut up. So it's, there was a little bit of both, a little bit of rubbing, so.
Yeah. Now, once again, we like, I get it. Hey, I have in the pit of my stomach some nervousness of how this could end. But I believe in the management in place right now. I believe
absolutely
creative. I think this relationship is in a much better spot than that one was. And I trust them doing what's best for business. We all know that's what the man in charge at WWE likes to say, best for business.
Yeah.
And I think best for both of them is going to let this play out the right way and not go, oh, I'm going to take my ball and go home style, which we saw before.
Right.
So, and like I said, you know me, if you're a world champion, right? If you're the TNA champion now, we're pretty much going to see Trick at every loop going forward. And once again, that ain't saying a lot. That means he's going to be in Arizona. It means he's going to be obviously in at Slammiversary in New York and the fallout there. So hopefully that's the case for sure. But yeah, just we knew like obviously President Carlos Silva, he wasn't at the border brawl. He headed down obviously with Joe Hendry and also Mike Santana. So you knew something was going to happen there tonight. Once again, I wasn't still for sure, but my mind was starting to change, Jay.
Oh yeah.
Like at the tapings yesterday, I was like, based on how the match went Under Siege, and then doing let's just say, you knew because of that match on Sunday, they were going to have to be very careful on how they handled it. It was a delicate situation because you're taping TV, but a live show is going to be happening, obviously, the next day. So they had to safeguard themselves. So you kind of knew it could make it interesting, and obviously it did. But hey, Joe Hendry, he has been a force. I don't want to negate what he did from his rise. Obviously him along with the Hardy brothers. They've been really carrying a lot of the load for the uptick, the increase in ticket sales, things like that. Like they played a huge part in it. As my late night display is falling apart around me. But yeah, so Gabe, I'm going to give you 1 second. Give me about 30 seconds.
It's fine.
Up real quick. Give me 1 sec.
What are you doing? He put it all in my lap. All right. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of this. Look, because I look at it like this. This ain't like I know that there were people upset with the whole thing with Tony Khan and AEW. Like at first it was exciting, then it went to crap. And people are gonna be like, oh great, here it is, it's happening again. I look at it like this. Look, the people that are in place that are running the show now, completely different. You got different people in charge on both ends of the spectrum here. You've got NXT run by I don't know, Bill's doing something. I don't know what he's doing. Or he's fixing something. I don't know. All right. You got Shawn Michaels. He'll disappear. He'll be back. He's doing something with his background. Something came on off or something. I don't know. You got Triple H, and you got other people behind the scenes, that capable writers and whatever. And and you got different people in charge now at TNA. And look, there's been so many changes. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, it's this guy and this guy and this guy. Look, no, I used to keep track of that stuff pretty good, but TNA has gone through so many changes. I couldn't tell you exactly who's on top of things right now. Bill could probably tell you better than me, but like I trust a lot of there's a lot of people. Yeah, and different people are getting promoted. And look, it's a change. The company is changing. Wrestling is changing, and that
the landscape's changed.
This relationship
changed everything.
This relationship is proof of it.
Yeah, because the AEW thing was sort of a relationship, but not like this one is.
No,
like this is a contracted relationship. Like this is a deal. Like that was like a handshake. There was nothing official, and that's when
this is we're gonna make this work. We're gonna make something very special out of this. This isn't just all right. We'll throw this cat on this show and this dude on this show, and whatever. No, this is they're taking time to like. I mean, not everything is going to be like $1,000,000, okay? But it's you can already tell by what's happened. Just look at what's happened with, for example, Jordan Grace is a great example of what's been going on here. Now, granted, I think they had their eye on her and they knew that she was going to end up going there, and that's fine. But they didn't have to have her involved with extra television time on both shows leading up to it. They didn't have to. They could have picked someone else and been like, okay, you just you know, stay your pace and keep
Yeah,
doing what
wait
you're
your turn.
doing, and we'll see you when your contract is up. No, they made it special for her. They involved her in different things, and they put her on NXT. And they're like, hey, we want to show you what this place is like. We want you to know that we want you to be here and what it's like here, you know? So they went that extra mile with her. So
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to do the same thing with Joe Hendry, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and who
You know,
knows? Like, this opens the door now for what Joe Hendry's going to do going forward. Like, everybody that wants to go back into that John Cena bag can do that again. It's more possible now than it was a couple hours ago.
yeah.
But I'll tell you, J-Bone. Now, the other thing, the key, and I don't know if you saw it, but did you see the video, the TNA video that they played about the world champions? AJ Styles voiced it over.
No.
And they highlighted all the people like that are in WWE, former world champions and everything. It was a nice package. They put it on their
Oh, okay.
socials and then they played it on the show.
And it was
But
on. They played during Battleground.
I believe, yeah, they played it during Battleground as well.
Oh wow! No, I didn't get to that part in the show,
Like,
so
they
I'm
really
guessing this.
put it over, like the importance of it, the people that have been there and been champion. I just think, once again, this is playing in and mainly for Slammiversary because of that big venue. I've said it on the show, and I'm going to say it again. I think we're getting AJ Moose for the X title, and I don't mean AJ Francis. I am Mr. First Class, but I think the original AJ is going to be there.
The
I think
AJ, the
I think
phenomenal.
Joe's going to get probably not Cena, but maybe the Randy Orton rematch.
Okay.
Like, I think you're gonna get some big announcements soon for Slammiversary
Okay.
on the heels of this.
And where is
Ride
it
the
again?
buzz. That is in Long Island at the Islanders Arena.
Oh
The
shit.
UBS Arena, I believe.
Okay. Wow.
So
So okay, so
this all goes together. It all goes together. This title change along with this relationship, I believe.
Oh yeah, there's going to be special stuff happening. Now I know you briefly mentioned, jokingly, of course, AJ Francis. I saw a clip of him with a crutch, and Casey Navarro
That under siege.
faced Santana, which, by the way, was for what I saw of the match. I
Great
don't think
match.
it was good. Yeah, it's damn good.
Well, it's funny you say that because that was
What
another
happened to
piece of news that
AJ?
came out.
Because I didn't catch
Well,
that.
when you get to the end of the match, he was faking the turf toe.
Oh,
He did
see, I
not have
didn't get
turf
that
toe.
far. Okay.
Yeah, it was
That's
all a
interesting, though.
ruse to try to get Santana. But
Okay.
kudos to Casey Navarro. Carlos Silva, they showed footage. He awarded the first loop, like all-star MVP, like whoever kind of really did the best job, and it was Casey Navarro.
Really?
All because of what he did in that match. So I think that's the thing. We you know me, I talk about First Class, but
Yeah.
I've seen KC in this area, the Northeast indie scene for years,
Yeah.
and he can talk. He's athletic. He's got charisma. He's been a perfect fit in First Class working with
Yeah.
AJ, but he's got a very bright future.
And he's got a good sense of humor too. He's goofy as
yes,
hell, which I totally appreciate because you know me, I'm
yes.
just a big ham. So, okay, I was just curious. You mentioned that, so I just wanted to like clear the air on that because I'm like, what the heck? What happened? So, okay, cool.
Yeah, so definitely check back. It's amusing. There's definitely some of the Under Siege. Obviously, everyone can go back and check out. I did do a solo review on Friday after the show, well, a couple hours after the show by the time I got back. And then, obviously, hopefully by Thursday, we'll get some other opinions on that and probably go more over the Border Brawl as well,
Yeah,
along with the Thursday
there we go.
flagship show. But let us
So
know.
yeah,
This wasn't meant to be a long thing. I know everyone needs to get to sleep. But J-Bone, anything else you want to say or discuss? Because I know you weren't even planning to
yeah,
be here tonight
yeah.
this morning.
Look, and just to kind of wrap up my point, like what I was making before is, look, we can agree to disagree. It's fine, you know, if you're not up and or you're not if you're not digging what they're doing, I get it. You know, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there.
Yeah, when a belt goes to somebody in another company, you're going to definitely get both sides going at
Oh
there, like
yeah,
people that like it, people that hate it, and I totally get that, and it's expected.
there's going to be
That's what it should be.
NXT. There's going to be NXT out there, fans out there, Bill, that are like, why does he have TNA's title? That's bullshit. It's out there. It's out there. It's so I get it, but I'm excited about this partnership. Is it all gonna be A plus? No. It's it's like some of this stuff is gonna be hit and miss, but I feel like this is really gonna be one of TNI After Dark. You got it, man.
That's a throwback.
You bet your sweet bippy. Hell yeah, we're After Dark. And
Well, honestly, at this time, this is close to I think the original After Dark.
yeah,
Well, we
almost.
went even later. The original After Dark, I still remember because I remember me and Trent into the wee hours. Daylight came because we were on riding such a high after the EC3 return.
Oh jeez. Yo, that was wild, yeah. But yeah, so look, we can agree to disagree. I hope people aren't going to just like jump ship and be like, "Screw this, I'm not watching." Please watch because
Yeah, see
it's
what happens.
it's gonna come back around. You know, the title's gonna come back,
Yeah, just
and
like
when
David
it
Penzer said
does,
really early, like he has to lose the belt,
right,
and which is totally correct. But I also get because people are like, "Well, Kenny didn't lose the belt."
right,
How he should have. So I
right,
get that. But that once again, you're dealing with a very immature set of circumstances, I'll just say.
right.
That wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah,
Unprofessional.
right. Like I said in the beginning, how it started off, it was wild. It
No, it
was
was
crazy. It was
great.
exciting, and me
So
and
if they
Bill
can
were
take that and
yeah,
make it work now, and honestly, like let's highlight those positives right now, J-Bone.
yeah,
He's gonna have the world title of TNA on NXT programming.
yes,
That's a lot of viewers. That's a lot like that. That's some key stuff going on. And
yes,
I think this all fits in. Like you're gonna be seeing it Tuesday, you're gonna be seeing it Thursday. That's a lot of eyes, especially
yeah,
as you're trying to push your biggest show of the year. Like sorry, Bound for Glory. As the great cowboy James Storms would say, sorry about your damn luck. Slammiversary is the biggest show of the year because it's at the biggest venue of the year. Now we don't know exactly where Bound for Glory is going to be. I have suspicions, but I don't think it'll be as a big a venue as that is. So that's going to be the marquee event of the year. And now with their guy holding our belt, are you telling me WWE is not even more invested in making sure that's successful and will
yeah,
send the right people to help get that attendance to maybe make a certain other company feel a little more uneasy about their space, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah. 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 And it's just, look, it's going to help. It's going to help TNA in the long run. You may
It
not
will.
believe me yet, but in the long run, trust me. I
Like, and we've been seeing it. Like right now, like you can't really, like you can always question, but you got to look at the results. Like a lot of sellouts. The difference, I know even David Penzer said it from Under Siege. Like that is a plus special, not a big four.
right.
They had near 3,000 people in Canada, in Brampton.
That's amazing. That place looked. That place looked. These places that they're doing now look incredible. I
Yeah,
mean,
so they're doing a great
don't get me
job on
wrong.
that. And that's
Don't get me wrong. I was excited about being in Chicago for the. I'm still wearing the shirt. From that summer that was hot as hell. We did the
the
three different
season pass,
specials.
baby.
Season pass, yeah, you got it. And we did the 3 shows throughout the year in Chicago, and um, that felt huge. But man, that is nothing compared to what they're doing now. I mean, they're doing twice, 3 times or more than what
Yeah.
they were
Hey,
doing. And
they swung big, and right now they're hitting. Like when because I looked back, like one of the recent, because we haven't done a ton of these breaking news lately,
yeah,
but one of the handful that we did was when all these events were announced, when they announced these big venues and everything. And
yeah.
that's something that I was apprehensive about because
Oh,
I was there
we
when they
were
started
too.
running the big venues originally during the Spike era. And like they were starting to run like the big college venues and stuff like that. And that's where we saw earlier the LOL TNA. Like they weren't like they were getting a couple thousand, but they were setting it up for like 9,000. And
Yeah,
that's
see,
not a good look. But
no,
now they're finding the right venue, the right markets. And hey, you're not going to hit a home run every time. Some are going to be better than others, but this has been pretty consistent. Like so
yeah,
they've been doing the research.
they
They've been
have.
they've been testing everything beforehand and then they've been executing. Like they have a very specific marketing response that they're going for and it's been very successful. So they're going to kind of try to keep upping it because we know most of this because we also heard news about like what is it the slashing the throat and the slaps or something was the latest dirt sheets after the whole blood thing. But
Oh, yeah.
now, once again, whatever truth's in there or morsels of truth, does this all have to do with a deal to get more distribution, TV or streaming? Yes. I think they've been very transparent in saying they're
In the
pushing to get on, they want more eyes on the product. And that's
Yeah,
going to happen. That's going to happen this year.
right. Anything's got to be better than what they're getting now, and at least, I mean, if they're not getting the viewership on the screens, on the TV screens, at least they're putting the butts in the seats at these
Well,
venues.
yeah, that's the thing. You're getting that, but then you're also obviously getting it through the NXT. Like they're seeing TNA on there. Like,
Yeah,
and let's not kid ourselves. And I know sometimes there's been issues with the app, but they've put a lot into the app,
right.
obviously, over the last year. Like they've still come a long way with the app.
Yeah.
Uh, none of these apps are ever perfect, but they
Oh,
have come a
it's
long way with it.
stuff is going to glitch, and that's anywhere you got computers, technology. Any business is going to have little glitches here and there. Hell,
Yeah, like as you grow, it's going to be something.
right.
But
I experience
once
them in
again,
my work all the time.
it's
So
a minor thing. And hey, other companies have also had glitches. We won't talk about them, but some people may have missed the main event somewhere recently, but it does happen.
yeah. So, but yeah, I'm excited for this. Um, like I jokingly said, I'm like, oh man, sucks being right sometimes, and I'm not right all the time. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, I called it. I'm always right.
Well,
No,
that's the
no.
thing, like, I think a lot of people were calling it, like, it was becoming a very popular opinion, but it's like TNA doesn't usually follow the popular opinion.
Yeah,
Like, they're like, "We have an idea when it's gonna happen, and we're sticking to it." But once again, a lot of that, even though there's a lot of the same faces, the people really in charge are different. So, that's an evolving thing,
oh yeah,
how these things like, the way you would suspect TNA to go doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's gonna be, and, hey, I've been following TNA for its entire existence,
yeah,
and I don't get it right most of the time. Because I, because you'll still tend to think what you think should be done, even when you try to go, well, what you would think they would do. And that's
yeah,
how I try to always approach when we're on the show here is like what I think TNA would do in that situation, not necessarily myself. But
yeah,
sometimes you get those mixed. You let the push you want for your guys to go through. But no, it's obviously big news once again. Joe Hendry, I know there's going to be people because he's very popular, so that's going to be a polarizing decision. What happened here, but
yeah.
from the get go, we knew at NXT Trick Williams was pretty much their hottest commodity. So for him to get the belt, you can't. I can't really question that. Like I've had everybody at NXT, he should be the one. But then obviously we're going to see this play out and how it. We really won't know the answer until he eventually drops the belt. If it's at Slammiversary or somewhere else on how this really went.
Yeah,
But I'm open minded to it. I'm thinking it'll do good business for everybody, and
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to see now where Joe Hendry gets involved next.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting. I think he's gonna stay, towards the top of the card. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does, and maybe he'll flip out and start wearing some goth makeup, like Rosemary or something. No, I'm
There you
kidding.
go.
I'm kidding.
And hey, also let us know like who do you want to see? Like obviously we know it's going to be Santana. Hopefully that's not it, because technically will he have zero defenses? I can't imagine that. So maybe there's some
Oh,
other TNA
you mean
roster
between
members.
now and then? Well, yeah, we got some time.
Yeah, there's some time. So he's got to face somebody.
There's
Um,
well, what do they got? Against All Odds coming up in a few weeks or something.
they do, but so yeah, we pretty much are roughly just under 2 months
Yeah,
until Slammiversary. So you do got to get a title shot in there too. We know Santana's lurking, but will be a Joe Henry rematch
yeah.
maybe. But I don't know if you want him to go clean, like go even cleaner the second time. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a plan, and let's just. I'm rooting for. I'm just look it big picture wise. I'm hoping everyone just stays healthy through the process of this, because you hate to have someone get injured and then okay, now what do we do? You got to have a backup system, and sometimes the backup system can be a little wonky, and then people are like, eh. But I hope Trick stays healthy. I hope Santana stays healthy, and everyone involved stays healthy. So, um, because man, Trick is fun to watch, man. I look at Trick, and I mean I've been watching wrestling a long time. I look at Trick, and he reminds me of a young Booker T in you know mid to late '90s of
Hmm. You going Harlem Heat, or
WCW.
you going all the way back? I still remember my first time seeing Booker T on TV with the Ebony Experience.
Oh no, no, I don't go back that far. I'm thinking of like Harlem Heat stuff, and then
Yeah,
he broke out
that's heyday.
solo. That was
Yeah,
exciting, and then he became world champ. I was so excited when Booker T became world champ. So, and I'm
he's got
sure,
the charisma. He's got the charisma for sure.
yeah, that's the thing. His athleticism is through the roof. Um, he's got charisma. He's not boring to watch, So
No. I'm like the crowd. He gets a reaction, and that's half the job, getting the reaction, and he gets it.
yeah,
Even though I still don't know why they're trying to make him more heelish, because he's such an over baby face. But uh,
I think because they knew that this was coming. I think
that's
that's
what I
why.
think. This was almost intended just because of this. Um,
Yeah,
and they didn't go full heel. He's a tweener. It's about respect. So he still has an angle where he's like, if you agree with him, he's not a heel.
right.
So,
It's yeah
uh,
because people still chant. Um, whoop that trick like
oh yeah,
crazy. It's not like it's crickets when he comes out. No, he
no, at
gets a lot
Slammiversary,
of
there's
love.
going to be 5,000 people at least chanting "Whoop that trick."
Oh hell yeah, and that's going to be amazing. Whether you love him or hate him, that's amazing.
So
That's
no, I
that's good.
like I said, it was surprising. Still, I think even though you thought it was going to happen, J Bone, I think it's still surprising seeing it happen.
Oh, it
Because we all
is.
knew it was possible. We know a lot of the TNI fam that's not here. I can think of our West Coast contingent that was all on me on Thursday saying, "Of course it could happen, Bill. Of course it could happen." Uh, um, so yes, it can. It did.
Well, and
And
I
they
was
pulled the trigger.
surprised. I was
Like they
surprised
took
there
the
was that
risk.
many.
I like it.
That many people that were agreeing with me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because you see it, like, a lot of the writing seemed on the wall, like, "Oh, this makes a lot of sense, Mike Santana." Like, don't have then you have a face versus a heel-ish guy as opposed to 2 faces, so a lot of it was kinda adding up, but would they do it? Like, how many times did the Knockouts tag titles seem like, "Oh, of course they're gonna switch hands," and they never did. They never did.
Yeah.
Because, like, oh, you have a team of an NXT and a TNA person. You have all these NXT teams. Oh, of course one of them are gonna win it, but they don't.
Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah, and as
so
as I talked about a little earlier, it opens it up. We got a newcomer to the chat.
there we
Welcome,
go.
Rob.
What's up, Rob?
I'm new to the chat, but what do you think about Cena versus Hendry? I can see that still happening in Trick and Santana's anniversary. I think Hendry, after losing, will call out Cena. I don't know. I think that's very possible. Like, I think it's more possible now, like I said, than it was. Like, we put the percentage very low when this was all coming. But maybe there's more of a chance now. Like, we just saw what Saturday night's main event where it was former NWA TNA World Champion Ron Killings taking on John Cena. So would it? I'll tell you what, they could get some mileage out of Joe Hendry and John Cena,
Oh yeah,
even
absolutely.
if they want that match to be on a future Saturday night's main event or maybe SummerSlam, something like that, a bigger venue.
Yeah.
They could definitely do something with those guys at Slammiversary.
Oh sure. And SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights, so that's going to be
Yeah.
huge.
So that could be a nice, maybe multi-man match involving them or something, like maybe even like some type of concert, like to do kind of like the old concert, like the rock concert. um do the rap verse. Although heel Cena, I don't think he's done. He hasn't gone thugonomics yet, has he, since his new heel run?
No, he's just been just telling everybody they suck and that he hates them.
Okay,
Yeah. he hasn't.
but
He
this would
hasn't
be the
put
time to
down any
revisit it.
new licks.
Yeah, this would be the time to revisit it, because you got two musical guys. Or do they rush into the? We know we've been getting the feelers with the Elijah heel turn against Joe Hendry. Would they do it that quick now? Like, because just like before, there's going to be a bunch of roster members going after Joe saying you lost our belt. Like, that's going to be a common thing with the heels going after him. There might even be some
Could,
faces that do it, and that could be Elijah saying, "Joe,
I
you
feel
lost
like
the belt for the
Elijah.
brand. You let us down."
I can see people doing that, but I think Elijah is like he came in and he's actually quite popular right now, and he's getting some good pops. We like when he's playing his tunes and stuff, and he's got the crowd singing with him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think he's going to stay face for a while.
I think so. I think he could turn heel at Slammiversary. And
At some
whatever
point,
Joe's doing, he could screw him over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But
God
if
knows
not, a
he's
little
done
bit
it
after.
before.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely some things to look forward to. And like I said, it's gonna give buzz for the product. There's no doubt, and that's a lot of times what you're looking for. But yeah, we have a new world champion in TNA, and his name is Trick Williams.
Trick
So
Williams.
congrats to Trick. Looking forward to seeing what happens. So we said it before on the TNI show. Now we really got to be paying attention on Tuesdays and Thursdays now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays going forward with our world title on that brand. So something to pay attention to. Oh, just as I say it, as we're signing off almost, West Coast in the house with the
Bell's
super
boy.
chat. Bell's
What's
boy.
up?
$10. Thank you, Bell's boy. Hello, fellows
Thank you.
from the left coast. I told you it would happen. I told you. Trick is the new TNA champion, as Santana's going to take it from him at his anniversary. Never doubt me. It's 2021 all over again. Bell's boy, I was giving you your props. I was giving the West Coast crew their props. Like I said, it seemed a lot of tea leaves were reading that way, but I just feel like I've seen so much TNA where you think that, and it just they intentionally go another direction to make sure, like, oh, you can't be thinking what we're thinking.
Right.
But it did fall. At least this part fell into place. But now it's setting up for Mike Santana, obviously, to do that all. But man, because I said it before, one of my things would be that's such a short title run. Like, will he even have a defense? I just can't imagine that's how they would book it. But
yeah,
we're gonna find out. Looking forward to it. But thank you, Bell's boy. That's a nice way to end it.
It is. Thank you.
A nice
and look, Joe Hendry's run wasn't even that long. But you know what? I'm
no,
okay
overall
with that.
it was not. Overall was not.
It's we came from a point within the last few years where some of these runs were so ridiculously long. With Josh Alexander's,
and you don't need to have
them
that long. You don't need to have them that long. It's a different world in wrestling. I know guys used to have titles for years. That's not that the consumer is not interested in that anymore.
Yeah.
They want, you need change.
Yeah. So yeah. Props to there we go. Props to Casey Navarro for winning the MVP and
that was after that Under Siege match.
For his TNA rookie year, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's first class, J-Bone.
He is.
But you know who else is first class? The Bone Man for coming in here. Instead of going to bed, we thank him. Like I said, I felt I had to do it as I was sitting in a car stewing about this on my way home. But now I need to get some rest before I hit the grill tomorrow on Memorial Day after my packed weekend of TNA wrestling, which we'll get further into on Thursday with hopefully Alicia, J-Bone, and myself to discuss this Thursday's impact on Access TV and the Plus app. But thanks again for my time, almost 3:30 in the morning, for all of you joining us here on short notice on, like I said, a big news night. And it's the funny thing, J-Bone, I think we have the most people of the night right now as we're talking about it, as we're signing off. So I guess our West Coasters got back home from a night out and are now checking it out. But if you didn't catch us live, or if you're just catching it now, feel free, go back, hear the discussion, put your comments in, let us know what you think about this history-making move of a TNA title switching hands at a PLE pay-per-view. That definitely was historic. And then I mentioned that video package with AJ Styles talking about all the former champions, world champions, and everybody else that chimed in that's currently in WWE, former world champions. It does feel like it's leading to a bigger crossover than just the NXT crossover we've been dealing with.
Could be.
So could be some big things in the works. And once again, definitely not. I don't want to discount the other side of the coin opinion that's either worried, nervous, doesn't like it. There's history, but not with this company. That was with another company. So you gotta give it a chance. You gotta look at it freshly. You can't let that, just like anything else in life. If you get burned by somebody or something, you can't assume it's always going to be that way. So
exactly
and that's the case here. So once again, congratulations, Trick Williams, our new champion. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And we will see you maybe before then. But if not, we'll see you this Thursday.
Yeah. Have a safe holiday, everyone.
Thank you all. And we will see you real soon. Bye-bye.